It's a thing that affects millions of people, and it's a brilliant example of how life isn't fair. There are many causes of it that seem almost impossible for many people. What has led poverty to rise in cases has happened over many years. So today we're going to be taking a look at the world record history of poverty. Wait, this isn't a something salt video. One of the main causes of the beast we call poverty is a spiral of debt. At the time of writing, and probably for the foreseeable future, the rich seem to keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer. One of the main reasons this is happening is because the rich people are using things that only very rich people have access to, such as the stock market. Thanks, Robin Hood. We're just milking a certain product or business strategy more than EA milking their sports games. Now onto the spiral part of the spiral of debt. It all starts with money troubles of some kind and not being able to afford things, like food or to pay the rent. So the person takes out a loan from someone to be able to pay the rent, but doesn't make the money they owe the person they took the loan from, so they take out another loan to pay back the person they originally took the loan from, and then rinse and repeat. Another big factor that can lead people into poverty is war, and we're one of the biggest arms dealers in the world, and instead of trying to remake the British Empire, we're helping other countries attempt to make an empire. Brilliant idea, weapon companies. And a terrifying example of the impact of the arms trade is the current state of Syria. A civil war has left around 338,000 dead and forced millions to flee their homes. And most of the weapons used were made by British and American manufacturers. At the moment, the country is still in ruin and sadly no effort has been made to reform. Another massive problem with the arms trade is how much is spent on it. One of the sad things about the arms trade is that if all the money spent on it was spent on food and healthcare, a lot of problems would be solved, such as the amount of people in the US and the UK in poverty would drop drastically. Hey, this is Scorch from Post. Just when I was recording this, I just found that Boris Johnson decided to buy a lot more nukes, so this is another good point for the arms trade, so I thought I'd just put this in here. Time to abolish Boris. Now, I've been talking a lot about causes of poverty, but you might be thinking, what's the point? It doesn't really affect anything other than the lives of some people. But a massive consequence of poverty that most people affected by is urbanization. And you might be thinking, but that's good for the economy as it makes more jobs and all that stuff. Well, let me explain it simply to my maybe non-existent friend. What takes up land other than sentient beings? Trees. And how do you make land to build there? by clearing those trees. And what do trees produce? Oxygen. And they also help delay the inevitable demise of our species, so that's nice. Now, we've talked a lot about the causes of poverty and its effects, and you might be asking yourself, but what do the Christians think about this? Background post again. I was just going to say, I know that almost no one is going to be thinking that, but I have to mention that not to fail. Well, the way Christians see morality is dictated by three main things. Two of them revolve around someone who was executed, and one revolves around the world's best-selling book. And I said something about things in a book, and that specific thing is whatever's on screen at the moment. I can't be bothered to read it. I also said they care about a dead man, specifically what he allegedly did and things he said. On the things he did front, he is known for performing miracles and treason against the Roman Empire. But we don't care about that. We know he was poor, but not in poverty. Another thing he was known for was talking about stories that relate to real things. His most famous one on this topic is the Good Samaritan. If you've been in a church or go to a Christian school, you've probably heard this one before. So sing along if you know the words. And it's going somewhere, gets robbed and almost killed. Priest walks by and doesn't help because he thinks the man has a disease. A Levite passes thinking the man is too poor or something. Then a Samaritan comes by. This guy's enemy tribe is the Samaritans, and helps the injured guy. Moral, help anyone. It definitely doesn't matter if they're a serial killer. Definitely. Charities of the Christian variety. Now I'll get this small section out of the way really quickly. I really don't like Salvation Army, mainly because they use Christianity as an excuse for homophobia and transphobia, and refuse services to anyone in the LGBT. Now on to the one I actually want to cover and recommend. World Vision. World Vision is a charity that allows people to sponsor children from families that are in poverty, much like how this video is sponsored by Raid. These guys try to help as many children out of poverty as possible by supplying them with clean water and place to stay. They are currently responding to the COVID-19 pandemic by providing reliable information and better health care. As I've said many times throughout this video, there are many causes of poverty, and a common one is just buying stuff you want but don't need. And by saying that, it sounds simple how to avoid poverty, but it is harder than that. Sometimes people can get pushed into poverty by their government's stupid decisions or inflation. I don't really have an idea on how to finish this. I'm bad at outros.